first speaker has got a great deal of local context to deliver, in that it could be argued, and somewhat provocatively, that Dubai has got problems with regard to the sustainability of its built environment. But then again, problems are really questions in another form. And if there weren't questions, well, there wouldn't be answers, would they? And so, Habiba, I think without further ado, I'd like to invite you to come over and give us some of the answers. Thank you very much. Big hand for Habiba.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, and Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's really a privilege and a great delight for me on behalf of Emirates Environmental Group to be here with you today to participate in this august forum. Before I go into this presentation and to prepare to give you our conclusions or ideas on this paper, I would like to mention that we are talking about sustainability and green buildings, yet the room itself or the venue itself is not green or sustainable at all. We were literally sitting in an ice box in the morning and I've only started getting the beginnings of a cold. Usually this is what happens when I attend a conference in this hotel. There is a standard that been set, and they are so stubborn about it, and I'm not talking about this hotel alone, I talk about all the hotels in the country. It is very cold, whether it is summer or cold or winter. You will be sizzling outside, you will come in and you will freeze. So these extreme weather patterns or climate or temperatures usually end us in bed after the conference. So I hope really the organizers will take a point of that and make sure that the room temperature is comfortable, is cozy, so that people can relax, enjoy, and stimulate their thinking. I didn't mean to be negative in that, but this is a fact. So I will go with you on introduction, urban challenges, and I will take Dubai. The economic gains, the impacts of construction industry, and really what do we mean by a greener emirate. And I'll take the case of Dubai, recommendations and conclusion. The construction in the Middle East and in this region is mainly attributed in the rise in oil prices, which has resulted in some of the most challenging projects being undertaken in this part of the world, and particularly in this country. And I'm sure you all are familiar with projects like the Palm, the World, with landmarks in the city, Burj Al Arab, Emirates Towers, and so on. And what you see in the picture is the under construction, the famous Burj Dubai, the tallest tower in the world. With all that, I'm sure you all agree with me that the construction industry is the most polluting industry. So this has given rise to a lot of environmental concerns. So this is where we will be focusing on. I would like to take a quick look at the social, economic and environmental impacts of the construction industry and the economic gain of Dubai City as a result of this boom. And what are the efforts and steps taken by the government to ensure and mandate the construction of green buildings? How do we facilitate a green revolution? And how do we focus, I would like to focus on a best case study, the first green building in the Middle East. So really there is a paradigm shift, at least we would like to see one, from the tallest to the greenest. Dubai is a miracle of the Middle East. In a span of 35 years, this small, dynamic city transformed from a traditional economy to a modern economy. Studies show that the economy grew by almost 17% in 2006, which is 4 times that of the United States and 2 times that of China. In 2006, it's estimated that $221 billion of investment money was poured in this country. So definitely, UAE and particularly Dubai has emerged as a leader in the construction, undertaken unbelievable projects, and it is a true reflection of modern architecture. Dubai has succeeded in bringing the genius, the creators, the visionaries, and people from all parts of the world, different nationalities and religions. And studies show that the population growth in Dubai and in the UAE is more than 7.9%. This slide shows the different phases of Dubai in the last 30 years or so. Urbanization can be planned or can be organic. When you look at Dubai, over the span of 30 years, the unplanned organic development has transferred to a very planned and systematic development. And you can see it from the satellite image here. While the construction industry is a major contributor to the GDP, it is also a very prime, resource-intense sector. The population of contracted workers in the UAE has been growing by more than 6%, placing greater demand on our scarce, fragile natural resources and on the basic infrastructure of the Emirate. As was mentioned in the morning, there is an increase in very high demand on energy, which is linked to the increase in the population. And of course, this is a translation of the highest standards of living. We are just beginning to see the government investing $250 million to speed up research and adoption of renewable sources of energy in the country. This slide shows you the famous Sheikh Zayed Road from 1990 to 2003, and the picture speaks for itself. So growing cities like Dubai need to plan along sustainable lines in order to reduce the negative impact on environment and the increasing depletion of the natural resources. As was mentioned, it is happening too fast and the scale is too big. It is too fast for the infrastructure, for the social structure, for the people who have lived here, and of course for the environment. So it is very critical, it is imperative, it's very important for us to plan our approach and learn from our mistakes. We call for sustainable lifestyles, which we mean by it, we would like to see cleaner production, renewable energy, water resources management, reduction of solid waste and sewage treatment, reuse and recycling of materials, ecological urban design and construction, public health, cultural expression, and social responsibility of residents. Cities can strive to be catalysts for long-term environmental sustainability. So although the city of Dubai does face huge urban challenge it is up to all of us, the residents, the developers, and the government, to overcome it and really build a modern and sustainable city. And we can work up a working formula that creates a winning solution. Human beings are known to create miracles on the ground. We always challenge nature and we create, otherwise you would not have the 7 wonders of the world. So if we could do that, we could do this as well. So one of the biggest challenges for urban development, for a fast-growing economy, is to have an organized and dynamic construction industry. When you look at the UAE at the moment and the GCC region, you see construction leading that way. There are many projects in the pipeline, and they are worth billions of dollars. And the focus is on the biggest, the best, and the tallest. It has resulted as well in a massive demand for housing to accommodate this ever-growing population. The oil revenues has helped this boom in both the public and the private sector. We are striving and running and racing to build world-class hotels, luxury resorts, shopping malls, residential and office complexes to boost the growth of the UAE. What sets the buildings apart here than from other parts of the world is there is no constraint on architectural vision. So it's really a paradise for architects. The architects are encouraged to dream, the impossible dream, and they are free to create. And the speed at which things are happening, again, is a unique thing that's happening in the UAE. So, again, the message that goes out to those involved in this industry directly or indirectly, to take up that extra step and that call and look at the issues more responsibly. We need to put a strategy and we need to put plans whereby we reduce our consumption and our strong and huge impact on the natural resources, mainly the construction materials, water, energy, and the resultant wastes. If you look at the economic, social, and environmental impact of the construction industry, and we go through some of them, GCC started attracting huge amounts of investment in the early 2000s. As I mentioned earlier in 2006, and the amount of investment that has come to the UAE. So definitely it has been a boost, definitely it has been positive. The social impact, when we look at the urban development planning and its impact and its effect on the neighborhood, and it has helped, actually led to major role in securing health and well-being of the occupants and improves the productivity. So organizations have started to pay more attention to the long-term benefits. With all that, let's go to the environmental side. This is the side that was wronged, whereby we saw the economic impacts gain precedence over it. But when you have global issues like climate change, global warming, and these are center points and issues on the top of the agenda of the decision makers on the global scene, then it has to start gaining importance in this region as well. We all know the construction industry accounts for 40% of the world's energy use, 40% of the use of the world's mineral-based materials. So I think it is not unjustifiably when the construction industry is coming more under the limelight and under the pressure to correct this act. UAE got branded by international studies in 2003 as having the highest ecological footprint, with 11.9 global hectares per person. And in 2006, a report of the Trends magazine indicated that more than 120 million tons of waste is produced in the GCC every year. UAE represents 20% of that, Saudi Arabia represents 60% of that. Another notable point is that this is a young and evolving country. Hence, the legal infrastructure is comparatively new and not matured enough. Stringent measures need to be taken urgently to ensure that environmental policies are implemented. With the construction boom, there has been change in the philosophy of the way people conceive sustainability issues. The government has realized that, and we hope, and we are beginning to see steps being taken to enforce stringent measures to achieve a more sustainable environment. So instead of just looking at the tallest and the newest, we should be looking at the more sustainable. In order to make UAE a world city in the true sense, the biggest polluter to the UAE's environment, the construction industry, should be tamed and should be taken into account. We would like to see these steps being taken and infused into the construction industry. Sustainability, eco-efficiency, green building, not only to be terminologies, but actual action programs, strategies, and actual implementation on the ground. Under the leadership of the Dubai and the UAE, there's a vision. That's of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President, Prime Minister of the UAE and ruler of Dubai. We have seen the business flourish and Dubai achieve a status of a dynamic city. Issued instructions late 2007, at the beginning of 2008, we should be seeing green building criteria implemented in all the constructions and putting the government organizations on board. That is a right type of pressure we feel on the developers. It's up to the construction industry, it's up to the developers again to take that call and lead the way. Several programs have started springing up, and we've seen the leaders in the market, Emirates, Dubai, Nakheel, Tcom, that have announced plans, that have got projects in the pipeline adhering to that requirement. It's a long way, but it starts with one step. As long as we have the commitment, as long as we have the will, and we definitely have the resources, and we do have the enabling environment set by the government, there is no justification, there will be no excuse for us not to implement it. I would like to highlight a point of one of our members, a company that has taken that call seriously and built the first LEED Platinum rated green building in the UAE and the Middle East. That's specific controls. I'm sure as you are driving from Dubai to Abu Dhabi, you will see this circle building on your opposite side, where they have taken pioneering initiative to create the first green building in the country with solar, air conditioning and lighting at the Techno Park. This 5-story building stands on 100,000 square feet, beautifully designed, and uses solar energy for most of its energy consumption. It has used an integrated approach to minimize energy and, of course, taking into consideration the environmental impact and the minimization of waste production and water consumption and water reuse. It provides a healthy and safe working environment for the people working there. Along with the government, the private sector, there's another important stakeholder in this whole equation, and that is the NGOs and the civil society organizations. As I mentioned, UAE is a young country, so we do not have many civil society organizations or environmental non-government organization operating in the field. Emirates Environmental Group is one NGO that has stood apart, is a leading NGO not only in the UAE but in the region as well. The areas that we have taken and the areas of focus has set us apart. We have accreditation to United Nations Environment Programme Governing Council. We are an accredited organization of the United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification, and we are the first environmental NGO in the world to be ISO 14001 certified for our environmental management systems. 2006, we were appointed by the UN Global Compact as a focal point to establish the local network here, and next month, inshallah, we are launching the GCC, UNGC local network. We have enlisted the active support of the corporate sector to steer and help us in the growth of this organization, and rightly so in the direction of sustainability. These are some of the programs that Emirates Environmental Group conducts. The cross-cutting between all these programs is the knowledge. We believe that education is the most effective tool of engaging the community, all sectors of the society, and getting them really to lead the way, to be proactive in the journey towards sustainability and sustainable development. These are all ongoing programs targeted at different stakeholders and different levels of the education community, and we have more than 520 educational institutions on board Emirates Environmental Group, and we engage with them at different levels with different programs. So NGOs and civil society really are bodies that are on the ground, that work with grassroots, that have got the ability to mobilize the masses, and really it's an early warning system. If they are allowed to play their role effectively, and if they find the right enabling environment to perform, and if they manage in engaging the different stakeholders, of which the Emirates Environmental Group has done very well with the private sector and the education institutions, and building good working and good credibility with the different government organizations all over the country. This was, the last point was talked about in the morning. Yes, we need to change the mindset. We need to change and create a culture of social responsibility, of voluntarism, of environmental giving. And this country prides itself in attracting the best from all over the world. When we have got all these international and multinational organizations playing all this role in pushing the wheel of development in this country, we would like them to take a very serious look and a very serious commitment to make sure that this growth is built on sustainability basis. So the road from the biggest, best and tallest towards the greenest is definitely under construction. But with Dubai's reputation and strong leadership, we will sure reach the final end soon with the support of everyone. Thank you very much, and I will call on you all to be together for a better environment.